Hey there, I'm Elizabeth from Living Vibrantly, and I'm here with your review of the 9-week Control Freak workout program from Beachbody. And before I get started, I have a couple of disclaimers based on some patterns and comments on my videos. Number one, if you're looking for a super short and to the point video, this is not the one. I tend to be very detailed in my analysis, so if you're looking for something that goes a little deeper, I'm not sure how long this will be. My reviews are usually between 10 and 20 minutes. You can see the timestamp at the bottom, so if you're looking for the 1-minute review, you got to look for a different video because that's not the kind of video I make. Number two, yes, I love Beachbody workouts. This is going to be a mostly positive review because I believe this company has the best workouts on the market. Keep on watching if you want to know things like, who is this program good for? Is it going to be too hard for me? Is it like super complicated with all the equipment? Those kinds of questions will be answered in this video. I have been a Beachbody affiliate for over 7 years now, so obviously I believe in what the company is doing. If you want to say that I'm biased, fine, so be it, but I'm generally a fan of Beachbody workouts. That's why I do every single one, and that's why I know so much about them. So I will compare and contrast this to other Beachbody programs, and if there's anything you want to know that's not covered in the video, my email should be in the description, so you can reach out to me with more questions. All right, let's get into it. 9-week Control Freak. So the program, as the name would indicate, is 9 weeks long, and it sounds super intense, right? Like, it actually sounds a little unpleasant. So I'm going to break down the name first because I feel like it can be a little bit off-putting to some people. Right? Nobody likes a control freak. So kind of like with 80-Day Obsession, the trainer, Autumn Calabrese, flips the concept on its head and turns it into something positive. So if we think about being obsessed, normally having an obsessive personality is not the healthiest thing. But what about getting obsessed with feeling your best? Now that is something that is worth leveraging that obsessive energy toward. Similar thing with being a control freak. If you listen to what Autumn is saying, like if you actually do the workouts, if you watch the intro video, any interviews that she gives, she's all about, okay, if we have that kind of control freak personality where we want to be in control of everything, how can we leverage that into something positive? So control freak concept that becomes negative when we're trying to control things that are really actually outside of our control. Or, maybe controlling other people, right? Like, that's really outside of our control. They have their own free will. But being a control freak becomes positive when it is leveraged in the sense of being in control of our own lives, taking responsibility, becoming empowered in our lives. And, it's really just the opposite of victim mentality. So getting rid of the excuses, right? Here's an example. For years and years, I said, I cannot get enough sleep. I'm just too busy. Well, when I got into this program, and you'll hear more as I get into the video about how I was recovering from surgery, and I modified the whole thing, all 9 weeks. So I'll tell you more about that, but my point is, finally, recovering from surgery, I realized I need to sleep if my body's going to heal. And so it was a combination of 9-week Control Freak was kind of the perfect program at the perfect time for me. And I finally was ready to get serious about, I could have made that decision at any other point in the past. I was ready for it. And, I had decided to do this program at the same time, and it dovetailed really nicely with everything that I was already thinking about and wanting to focus on. So becoming a control freak about your self-care. And it's not that you have to control freak is like, I don't know, your friends invite you to dinner and you bring your own food instead of accepting their hospitality, right? That's not what we're talking about. But, being a control freak about, reading ingredient labels and the foods that you cook at home, really choosing the healthiest ones. So control the controllable, and recognize how much we really do have control over. And, we are not the victim of our circumstances. So becoming a control freak, becoming ruthless about self-care is really how I see the title. And I think, it's like so many other tools in fitness. In my coaching, we always talk about the relationship with the scale and how the scale can be used for good or for evil, right? If you're getting on that scale, you're looking at the number and you think like, oh my gosh, I'm completely worthless, because the number is like 20 pounds higher than you would prefer it to be. Okay, that's using the scale for evil. Or you can, weighing yourself daily is, looking at broad patterns, weighing yourself daily is actually associated with maintaining a healthy weight over the course of a lifetime, because it's like just facing the truth, right? You can't be in denial if you're looking at that number every day, but you have to pay attention to how you are using it. So being a control freak can be used for good or evil, just the same way as when you get on the scale, you can beat yourself up with what you're telling yourself about that number, or you can see it as just a piece of information. It doesn't say anything about your worth as a person, but it might tell you that, I need to make some changes to my lifestyle based on the number I'm seeing on the scale, right? So, judging your behaviors and your habits instead of judging your self-worth, all right? So we want to use that concept of a control freak, leverage it in a positive direction, and yes. So that's the overall concept. And it's 9 weeks of workouts. They are, don't want to misspeak, 30 to 35 minutes a day, 5 days a week. I just finished the program a week ago, but I'm already into new ones. I'm just looking back to remind myself. And the workouts are really like, I guess, the most well-known feature of the program, but they are not the whole program. So with the workouts, you get a nutrition plan. And actually, the really nice thing about Beachbody's challenge packs is they have now rolled in the nutrition programs that used to be an extra fee for purchase. So they've always been about bundling the products and features that will give you the highest chance of success. And I really struggled, actually. My clients would purchase a workout plan and they wouldn't have access to the nutrition program. So I'd be, trying to teach them some of the principles, but they don't have access to all the materials and all the recipes. And now they do. So if you are joining 9 Week Control Freak, I highly recommend that you not only do the workouts, but also choose one of the nutrition programs, which I'll help you with, and commit to it. And then, even beyond that, there are, so not only 45, right, 9 weeks times 5 days a week, 45 unique workouts. You never repeat the same workout. New video each day of the program. And there are 45 unique stretch sessions. They're about 10 minutes each. Some are even less, like 7 minutes. And every one of those is different too. And it's kind of entertaining. Autumn actually wears different pajamas in each one. So she's got 45 pairs of fashion pajamas, and you can watch her wardrobe change each day. But more importantly, the experience is different. Like there are new and different stretches each time. She's not repeating the same stretches. So I know it's starting to sound like a lot to commit to, and actually the first 3 weeks I didn't do the evening stretches because I was getting into a routine of doing a daily workout after, I had been walking and I hadn't been working out since my surgery. So I added on one thing, and then once I established that habit, I layered the other things on and added the stretching sessions. So that's one approach I recommend for my clients. So I've just told you how it's not just the workout videos, it's this whole lifestyle. We also have a community where you can log your workouts daily, connect with the other participants, and you can hear about their experiences. You can be with, some people who are doing different workout programs. You can think about what you might want to do next, and just sharing life, when you had a good day, when you had a bad day, questions about different workout moves, about, food and recipes. So the community is a really important aspect of the program, but it really is a lifestyle that you're committing to. And also, I invite you to choose just one part of it to commit to in the beginning, because it could be a pretty massive overhaul of your life, right? Like really trying to start too many new habits at once is overwhelming. So if you want to just start with the workouts and then, maybe do that until it really feels like a habit. It's different for different people. Could be a few weeks, could be a few months. Maybe then add in a nutrition program, or maybe you want to start with the nutrition and add the workouts later. But one habit at a time. And the different elements are really the workouts, stretching videos, nutrition, the community, and then just an overall commitment to self-care. So in our community, we're setting self-care goals week by week, month by month. And my point is just something like sleeping enough is not really covered under the program. There are other changes you have to make in your life for certain kinds of self-care, just to make time for things. Maybe adding downtime, could be your goal. But I'm here as your coach to support you in those goals. And those goals are kind of equally important to the program, even if they're not like, you look in your Beachbody On Demand library and you see like the different elements. And there's kind of the self-care umbrella that's over all of it. And those can be separate goals to also work on separately, and maybe just commit to one of those and make it your primary goal until you really get it under control. Pun intended. All right. So that's the overall approach. And, I just really love, because when you get to an intense workout program, it can feel like, okay, you might kill yourself in the workouts and, your body starts to break down because you're working out so hard. But actually, Autumn really wants us to stretch and rest and foam roll and sleep and do the Epsom salt baths and do the Recover, the sports performance supplement line that helps ease soreness. So there are all these ways that you take care of your body. She's also talking a lot about body work and getting regular massages and, doing physical therapy if you have an issue that needs that. But, it's not just about like working your body and breaking your body down. In fact, it's the opposite. It's about essentially preventive maintenance. You work hard because it's good for your health, and then you do all of the other behaviors that are necessary for upkeep of an active body. So that's the lifestyle that we are creating with this program. And it may take longer than just 9 weeks, but you can get a good start for sure in 9 weeks. A model that I use is really like a foundation. So you can't build a house without laying the foundation first. So you start with your foundation and you add on one floor at a time, and we'll layer and stack habits, but starting really with just one. Okay, and then I mentioned that I did this program while recovering from abdominal surgery. I was cleared after, I believe it was 12 weeks, and started working out very heavily modified at that time. So I started with no weights at all, and then 3-pound weights. And then, by the end of the 9 weeks, I was lifting for a lot of moves similar to Autumn in the videos, but I also substituted my physical therapy exercises for all of the ab work. So I will come back through and do this program again at a later date when I can do it full out without modifying. But the point I want to make is, so first of all, there is a modifier for each and every move in the videos. So for example, like there might be a side plank move and I was doing it with my knee down, or doing a move from hands and knees instead of in plank, or doing low impact like step jacks instead of jumping jacks. So all of those options are shown to you to follow. And then you also will have access to me as your coach. And I am a certified yoga instructor with a background in personal training. I have a lot of experience. And it also brings me joy to help my clients modify the moves. If, say the modifier also isn't working for you, the modified move that's shown isn't quite right for you still, I'll help you figure out how to adapt that move to your particular situation. So this program really is accessible to anyone. Because it involves a little bit of equipment, you can see some of the videos on my YouTube channel, the 9-week control freak demo videos, workout demos. So there's a door track. It's like a resistance band and you can attach it to a wall or a door. And I'm showing bicep curls. That's kind of the simplest move. You can picture me holding a resistance band and pulling, and it's attached to the wall. Okay. But there's so much you can do because you slide the attachment point up and down. So it can be all the way down at the floor, all the way up, chest height, and then depending on the angle of the band, you can even do the same move and it works the muscles in a totally different way. So having that control track really mixes up the options, and that's one of the wonderful things about this program. And it introduces a lot of variety, which could possibly be overwhelming if you're newer to exercise. If you are not that coordinated and you get confused easily, which is actually me, so I totally get that. I mean, I have a lot of practice and a lot of experience, but I generally, I might even have to rewind and be like, oh, how did she do that move again? Okay, so even things that are very clearly explained are sometimes confusing to me, and if you're the same way, then you might not enjoy this program that much, only because when we're spending so much energy trying to figure out how the program, like, what is this workout move exactly, you can't then get out of your head and into your body and just do the workout. So if you're like really bored with your regular old chest presses and bicep curls and you're really craving a different approach, this program will be phenomenal for you. And if you like repetition, you like to keep things simple, this might not be your favorite, but that's a matter of preference. I do think this workout is accessible for beginners, but it may not be the simplest for beginners. And I might have a different recommendation for you. So if that's the case for you, again, email me at the address in the description with this video, and we'll talk about what might be the best program choice for you. All right, I talked about modifier. I gave you the program length already. Equipment, I talked about the control track. Other than that, you do need some dumbbells. For this program, I use from 3 up to 12 pounds. You might want to go slightly heavier. Remember, I was modifying after surgery, but this is not a super heavy lifting program. It's more of a compound movement, working small muscles, sculpting kind of approach to strength training. So don't need your 50-pound dumbbells for this one. And, any denomination from, 3, 5, 8, or 7.5, 10, 12, that's really what I recommend for this program. And then maybe going up from there, but really having every smaller denomination within there, because when you're working smaller muscles that are not as strong in your back and stuff, there's a significant difference. You don't want to jump up from 5 to 10. You want to have that intermediate step of 7.5 or 8 pounds. So having an assortment of weights, you'll get the control track in your kit when you enroll in this program. And then you'll also receive a core ball. It's just about this big, and it's just, inflatable ball, and you put it between your knees or behind your knee for a lot of moves to really focus on form and muscle activation. And then the program also uses an aerobic step, which does not come with it because a lot of us already had one from Transform 20 or other programs. So if you don't have one, there's an add-on option, or you can get steps at a lot of fitness stores, or some of my clients found them at a garage sale or on Craigslist. So you can really use any step, but it's the kind of step you remember from like step aerobics, but we're doing it more for strength training with different kinds of lunges and squatting off of the step and things like that. So those are the equipment, pieces of equipment that are needed. There is also what's called off-the-wall 9-week control freak, and it's the full program, okay? They essentially redid the whole program not to use the control track. And that's really for people who maybe you don't have a wall you can attach it to. So I have mine. You can see the, hold on, to get the other video. Maybe you can't see it, but okay, right off the edge of my video, there's like a black nylon strap. So this is on the inside of the door, and then on the outside of the door is where you actually attach the resistance band. So when I pull on it standing outside this office, I'm pulling the door closed, okay? You don't want to pull the door open by accident. So that's why you have to have it on a certain side of the door. You don't want to attach it to a door that has any glass in it, because the handle can swing and may actually break the glass. So solid door, but this is just a light door. It's not a heavy door, or an open wall space with hardware to attach, like you actually drill it into the wall. So if you don't have a door that fits the bill, if you don't have a wall where you can do that, then we have this off the wall version that you could do instead. And finally, there's just 1 week, it's not the whole program, but there's a week called remote control where they do use the door track, because you can travel with that really easily. It's super light, folds up, fits in your suitcase. And plenty of my coach friends have done this program on vacation with like the track around a door in their hotel room, hotel room would be tough because the door opens inwards probably, but rental houses definitely, they were able to find a door that opened in the right direction and had the space on the outside of it. So anyway, those are travel friendly. They don't use weights, even though they do use the control track, and that's the remote control workouts. So you really have a lot of options, in addition to the large number of sessions in the default program. And I talked to, so the main format of the workouts, it's called DCT. It stands for Density Complex Tabata. So first comes the density portion, and it consists of 5 exercises done in sequence. And you'll get a designated number of reps for each exercise, 12 or 10 or 8. So Autumn will introduce you all 5 exercises. I don't know if I said it. It's Autumn Calabrese. She's the trainer from 21 Day Fix and 80 Day Obsession. Country Heat also. Did she have another program? Anyway, it's Autumn. You may know her. She'll introduce you to all 5 moves, and then you move through the sequence of all 5 exercises doing the specified number of reps, and you do that as many times as you can in 12 minutes, and then your clock runs out. And you note down, you probably can see on the back of my door, a little chart. So those are all my notes from, how much weight I was lifting, how many reps I did all throughout the program. You get that dry erase chart. And then when you do the program a second time, you can go through and you can compare how much more you lifted and how many more reps you got in. Okay, so that's density out of the DCT. So complex is essentially a combo. So, there's one with the resistance band that's like a chest fly, chest press, and then you're doing an overhead triceps thing, and then you kind of twirl around and you're doing a row. So you're doing all of those. That whole combo is 1 rep, and you'll do 10 of those for a set and then 2 sets. So they're mostly upper body. For the complex moves, they're not all with the door track, but often, otherwise you might use free weights. And then the last portion is the Tabata Cardio for 4 minutes, 30-second intervals, and you start out really simple. It's 10 seconds on, 20 seconds off. She gives you a lot of rest in the beginning, and then as you go through each phase, you work up to 20 seconds on, 10 seconds off, times 8 for a total of 4 minutes. I would say, as far as what this program works, it's not like it works legs in every workout, but the focus is more upper body and abs. You'll definitely get glutes, and there's a lot of squats and lunges, but there's really curtsy lunges. I mean, I guess there's also at the same time usually something going on with your upper body. So you're not going super heavy with your legs. It's more you're doing something with your legs and also something with your core or your arms and shoulders. So the 3 focuses. So there's legs and back, chest and triceps, shoulders and biceps are like the focuses of the 3 different DCT workouts each week. And then you'll have a total body tone session, which is just more of a traditional strength training format. That's once a week. You're just going through each exercise once in sequence. You're not repeating anything. There's no countdown clock. You just do the move and you move on to the next move. So that's pretty easy to follow. Just do what you see on the screen. And then the 5th session of each week is Tabata Cardio for is only 18 minutes of work, and then the warm up and the cool down. So that one goes by fast. 2 rest days a week. I mentioned the low impact modifier already. I mentioned that it is accessible for beginners, although there are certain beginners, if you prefer a simpler program, this might not be the most fun for you, but in terms of accessibility, I think it's definitely possible. Hopefully that wraps up everything you wanted to know about 9-Week Control Freak, but if there's anything I didn't cover that you want to know, shoot me a question at the email in the video description. See you in the next video.